100%. You saw that. My generals that I got rid of told me it would take 2 years to get 2%. I went to Iraq. I stayed in the White House for almost 4 months. The only time I left was to go to Iraq. I'll tell you, if you have to get cabin fever, getting cabin fever in the White House is still a good place. But I went to Iraq and I met the generals, and one general said, "Sir, we can do it in 1 week." I said, "Wait a minute." They said, 2 years. They said, "That's because we're hitting them at a much different level." And we did it, and we now have 100% of the ISIS. It's been completely obliterated. And that doesn't mean you don't have cells and these crazy people. I got to say it, because you saw it. You can never say we won, because if you say we won and then somebody blows up a store, some crazy maniac, but we just beat the hell out of them. And we're trying to now beat them at the internet, because there's nobody better at the internet than them. I don't know if you saw recently, I put some social media that they're losers, that they're dead, that if you join them, you will be killed just like they're killed. We got to beat them at their own game, folks. It's not a very nice game. And they don't surrender. When we had them, I was telling Kevin McCarthy, when we had them 4 or 5 days ago, they were cornered. They don't know what it is to be cornered, because they always had free reign. They don't have free reign with me. And we flew over with brand new F-18s, Super Hornets. And they're going 2,000 miles an hour over and over for 2 days. And I said, do these people ever, wave the flag? Do they ever surrender? And the general, Raisin Cane, his name. What's your first name? You know this. So my first name is Raisin. This guy's out of Central Casting. I'm telling you, there's nobody in Hollywood that can look like this guy, because he's much tougher. That I can tell you. I said, what's your name? Raisin. What's your last name? Cane. I said, you mean your name's Raisin Cane? Yes, sir. That's the guy that told me. I said, so my people tell me 2 years. What do you think? 1 week, sir. I said, General, come here, give me a kiss. I felt like Joe Biden. Sure. But I meant it. See, I meant it. Big difference. I meant it. So we knocked him out, and we now have knocked him out. And we have, but I always say, you have some crazy people around, nevertheless. Together, we're also fully rebuilding the American armed forces, and you're doing that. What you're doing is incredible. Because without that, the other things might not matter. It's a rough time in this world. I withdrew the United States from the disastrous Iran nuclear deal, and Iran is a different country. When I first came here, Iran was going to take over the Middle East, and there was no stopping them. And I took out of that deal, I terminated that deal, and they have gone to hell. That's a different country. They have riots, their economy's collapsed. It was a horrible, stupid deal. We gave them $150 billion, and they used it to fight us. We gave them $1.8 billion in cash, airplane loads of cash. And I recognized the capital of Israel, and we opened the American embassy in Jerusalem for $1 billion under budget. $1 billion under budget. We were going to spend $1 billion to build it. I got it done for $400,000. Think of that. So I saved $1 billion. I took a building that we already owned, on land that we already owned. Somebody said, what's the difference between that piece of land and the piece that we were going to spend a fortune to buy? I said, the difference is it's much better. It's a better location, and it's a much bigger site. Other than that, they were very similar. And to support Israel's security, just last week, and this has been going on for 58 years, I recognized fully Israel's sovereignty over the Golan Heights. 58 years they've been talking. They've had committees, they've had meetings, they've had 32 different meetings. And it's talk. And they never do it. So we did it. And I'll tell you what, I don't know about the United States. I think we're doing well, but I can run for the Prime Minister of Israel. That's what they tell me. I think I'm at 98% in Israel. You better be careful. I'll leave here and I'll go run in Israel. The United States has also taken decisive action against the brutal socialist dictatorship in Venezuela. That's a horrible situation. And America once again stands with the people of Cuba, Nicaragua, and Venezuela in their righteous struggle for freedom, and we're helping them out. So we're gathered here tonight at a very pivotal moment in our nation's history. That's true. This is a very important moment. You know, we have forces going against this country from within that can destroy this country. If we lose this election, you know, when I go out to make a speech, I meet people. I don't get to see too many people, but I meet people backstage going on. And they'd say to me, "Thank you, sir, for saving our country." They're talking to all of us, by the way. "Thank you, sir." A man came up to me a week ago. We were in Michigan. We had a tremendous crowd in Michigan, right? Is that right? That's a good group. Great crowd. And this guy looked like he never cried in his life. He looked like a football player, big, strong guy. And he was pouring down tears as I'm getting up ready to speak. I'm walking by and he was there. And he said, "Sir, thank you for saving our country." And I used to be surprised because I've been hearing this for a year and a half. I used to be surprised. You know, it's a big statement. And they're oftentimes crying. And they're people that don't cry. These are not criers. These are people that are real stalwarts. They're not crying. Nothing wrong with crying, but they often are crying. And I've heard it so much. We have an election coming up that if something bad should happen with this election, we could lose the country. We really could, because these people are stone cold crazy. What they want to do to our country would be overwhelming. It would be horrible. So we have no choice. We have to win. We really have to win. Now, it could be they start moving in a different direction, but I don't think so. It looks like they're only moving one way. The majority of American people support our common sense agenda, and Americans do not want to risk their prosperity or our prosperity. They don't want to risk their children's future. They don't want to risk their wealth. They don't want to risk their 401ks, where they're up 50, 60, 70, 80%. I talk about it all the time. They feel like financial geniuses. They've never been there before. And we're going to explain to them that your 401k will disappear. You're not going to have anything. We have a lot of great things going. So the Democrat program of radical socialism and open borders, if we are good and if we are smart and if we do our job, it cannot work. It's not going to work because our people are doing too well. The choice has never been clearer. The Republican Party is the party for all Americans. We really are. We have changed this party so dramatically, folks. I say all of us, not just me. I've been important. You've been just as important. We're now the party of the American worker. Did you ever hear? When I started doing this, we were like the party of the rich person, and we were losing. There were not enough rich people. We're now the party of the American family, and we're the party of the American dream. It's true. You are. In South Carolina, when I was going against a lot of different people, there were 12 people left. And I'll never forget, somebody came down and said, "You have no idea what you've done." Thousands and tens of thousands of people are joining the Republican Party. It's never happened. They've never seen it before. And this happened in New Hampshire. It happened all over. It happens in Florida. It's happening now in Florida. I mean, I don't like to talk about leads too early, but we have an incredible lead in the state of Florida. We have an incredible lead in the state of Ohio. We have a great lead in Pennsylvania, in North Carolina, in South Carolina. I mean, we have leads. Now, you always have to be very careful because you have, on occasion, seen leads disappear. But we're not going to let that happen because we have the far better ideas, the far better platform. And I know many of the people in this room, we have the far better and more talented people. You are the people I'm talking about. And we believe in the American Constitution, and we believe in the rule of law. We believe in the dignity of work and the sanctity of life. We believe that faith and family, not government and bureaucracy, are the true American way. We believe in religious liberty, the right to free speech, and the right to keep and bear arms. We believe that children should be taught to love our country, honor our history, and always respect our great American flag. And we believe in the words of our national motto, "In God we trust." We're not going to lose that. We're not going to lose that. People want to play with that. They're not playing with that one. They want to play with that. You know that. We're not playing with that one. In God we trust. We fight on behalf of hardworking citizens who pay their taxes, follow our laws, raise their children, protect our communities, and made this the greatest nation ever to exist on the face of the earth. And we're doing better now than we've done in decades and decades and decades. This land is our home. These American patriots have always been loyal to our country, and we will forever be loyal to them, forever. Every day for the next 19 months, we will keep on fighting, we will keep on working, and we will keep on winning, winning, winning for the American people and for yourselves. And for yourselves and your families. With your help, on November 3rd, 2020, Republicans are going to win the House, we are going to win the Senate, and we are going to again win the White House. Thank you. And together with the love, prayers, and devotion of everyone in this really warm and incredible room, and millions of patriots across our land, we are going to make America great again. We are going to make America greater than it's ever been before. And we are going to do it not just for you, not just for your friends. We are going to do it for all Americans. Thank you. God bless you. And God bless America. Thank you, everybody.